Darling program, Women of Substance. It is a program that celebrates some women in the society. Who are these women we are talking about? They are the ones that have excelled in their chosen careers. Well, we refer to them as women of substance because of some outstanding qualities we observe in them. I have one of them in the studio with me today, a big fish for that matter. When you see her on the program, you will know that she's indeed a woman of substance, going by her antecedents. Who is this woman? Who is she? She was the first female deputy speaker and only one till today in the history of Osun State House of Assembly. She was the executive assistant, Women Affairs, during Chief B.C. Akande's regime. She's an educationist, a politician of note. Surely have a good time with her on the program today. Who is this woman? Join me in welcoming Honorable Nike Omowari. Good day, madam.
Good afternoon.
You're welcome on the program.
Thank you.
It's nice having you here this afternoon.
Yes, I feel the same way.
Oh.
Thank you.
Well, can we know your background?
Oh, good afternoon. My name is Right Honorable Olanike Omowari. I was born at Ile-Ife.
Okay.
And I attended St. Peter's Primary School, Iremo Ile-Ife. And also attended St. Louis Secondary School, Ondo, for my secondary education. I later came back to Ile-Ife for my university education, and I obtained a Bachelor of Arts degree in physical education from University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University.
Okay.
Then after my youth service at Ilorin, I decided to do my master's in Ilorin and obtained a
University of Ilorin.
Yes.
Okay.
And I obtained a master's in education
Okay.
from University of Ilorin.
Ilorin.
Then I worked briefly at the Directorate of Student Affairs, that's the Guidance and Counseling Unit,
Okay.
Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife. I was there till I resigned and contested election to the House of Assembly.
Okay.
To God be the glory. I won the election 1991, December. Became a member of the House of Assembly in January 1992. Then I contested another election within the House members. I became the Deputy Speaker, House of Assembly. That was in 1992, January. So like I said, I later worked with Chief B.C. Akande 1999 to 2003 as EA on Women Affairs. Then I've worked also with the former Deputy Speaker, Federal House of Representatives, as a special assistant in 2016 to 2019. Now I'm working with the Osun State Governor as a special advisor on liaison office.
Okay.
But I worked as Director General before then.
Before then, okay.
Yes. So until recently, when I was screened as a member of cabinet. So I'm now a special advisor.
Okay.
Osun liaison office.
Okay. That's great, man. Well, you are from where, man?
I'm from Ile-Ife.
Ile-Ife.
I'm from Abule-Moku.
Okay.
Ile-Ife, that's where my father comes from.
Oh, okay.
So I'm from Abule-Moku, and my mother too is from Ile-Ife.
Okay.
She's from the royal family.
Okay.
My grandfather was Sadi Sojajiremi, the late Oyo that was governor as well in the old western region, and happened to be the first black governor in sub-Saharan Africa.
Yeah.
Then I attended St. Peter's Primary School in Ife, like I said earlier. Then I worked at Ife. So
Well, we can say you were born with a silver spoon.
oh well, whatever that means.
How was your growing up? How was it?
Well, it was I grew up under a very strict parental. Yes. My father was a school principal, and he was always firm with us. And then my mother too was a trained seamstress. We used to call them that time. She too studied in the London Polytechnic. And she was very strict as well. Growing up was very interesting. Then we just knew it as the daily routine. Then you had to work in the morning before you had your duties in the house before you go to school. Then at school you'll be given one assignment or the other. Then you come back home, you already knew what you were going to do. Maybe you're going to cook, go to the market, Then my mother used to supply fruits at the university. So we were always working together, putting what she would supply the following day together. So then afterwards she will ask you for your assignments. You'll still do your school assignments and everything. So that was, growing up was like that. And my father knew all the subjects of all of us of 8. And there were 7 of us from my mom, and she was the only wife. But we had a lot of other cousins that lived with us. Yes. Then we had friends and relatives too, because my father as the school principal was always there to check the children of other people. They must pass their WAEC, they must pass everything. So anytime they wanted to retake any paper, they must come and live with us. So that we will monitor them, monitor what they do in the morning, in the afternoon, get them lesson teachers, to make sure. So I grew up among many people.
Well, thank you, ma. You are an educationist, am I correct?
Yes.
Female education in Nigeria. Are you comfortable with the percentage of female education in Nigeria?
Well, in the southern part of Nigeria, it's like all children go to school. It's only in some part of northern Nigeria. Then in the east, of course, women are the ones that actually go to school more than the men in the east. But now, the northern states are even bringing more children, more female children to school now. Then I'm not too comfortable with the fact that some parents will drop the female child for the male child to attend school. When they think that they don't have enough money or they don't have enough resources for all the children, they leave the female children. Then they ask the male children to go to school. No, I'm not comfortable with that. Then we normally have more female doing a lot of house chores than the male children. So they want to relegate the female children to home.
But don't you think our culture is responsible for this? The culture.
Well, it used to be like that until until people now saw women taking active parts in politics, in education. You see female lawyers, female doctors, female pharmacists. Now we have female deputy governors.
Yes.
We're looking forward to having female governors,
even presidents.
female presidents. And then we have some other countries where you have female presidents, and the countries are doing very well.
Yes.
So parents now know that when they have female children, it does not matter whether they are female or male. The only thing they still attached to it now is that when a woman gets married, she bears the name of her husband. And so the men, they want some other people that will bear their names. So when the male child grows up, they always tell them that this one will bear my name. So they want that one to remain in the house and now do good courses. But you see the capacity they have most of the time. The female children are usually very brilliant as well.
Yes.
So you don't throw away your children because they are female children.
Yeah.
They might be the ones to take good care of you tomorrow.
Yes.
So these days, I think parents know better.
Of course. They know better now.
Yes. And we also need to encourage those of them that are still behind, leaving the female children behind.
Okay.
So we need to encourage them to send their female children to school.
Yeah.
Then to make sure that they do good courses while they're in school. Give them lesson teachers if it's necessary.
Yes.
For them to pick up one or two other subjects.
Yes.
To give them a better position in some professions.
Yes.
So we need to do all those things.
Because what a man can do, a woman can do better.
Even better than the men, because we work more under pressure than the men.
Yes.
That is why you see a woman, when she goes to her office in the morning, a typical African woman will also have a shop.
Yes.
She will have a shop. That shop, she will go and sell in that shop. In that shop, whatever she's selling is what she will give the children to eat.
Yes.
Or from within the money she makes, she will make sure that her children are okay. These days, women don't even depend on men to take care of their children. So they take care of their children, they take care of their parents.
Yes.
Even more than the men.
Yes.
And they still do all the work in the house, the house chores and everything, more than the men. The men are seen to be the boss in the house, in the African setting. So they sit in the house. When they come back, they tell you they are tired from office work. They read papers and then the woman will now still go back home to the kitchen and
for the family,
make sure the children are okay, take care of their clothing and everything. So women work more under pressure than men. So it's better for you to take good care of your female child.
That's good. Well, there is this general belief that there is no discipline in school, like what it obtained in the past. Do you agree? What's your take on that?
Parents, most especially, should not depend on schools to discipline their children. Once the children are disciplined from home, the work of teachers in school is reduced as per trying to discipline those children. But when the children are not disciplined from them at home, when they come to school, they don't only disturb in school, they also teach all the other disciplined students to be undisciplined. So we want to encourage parents to make sure that they have time for their kids. Then when we are having these children, after marriage, we want marriage counselors to talk to couples. Let them have the number of children they can take care of. You don't just come, have children, have many children because you like to have children. If you like to have children, you can when you know you have more capacity than to take care of more children than you have, and you want more children, you can adopt children. You can go to orphanage and help children. You don't have to bring children to this world and not take care of them. And sometimes you know that it's not your fault. You want to do it, but you don't have enough finances. Your financial capacity does not take care of the number of children you have. That is when you start to borrow money here, do this. And when people are no longer borrowing you money, then the children stay in the house. They don't go to school. Because they need to buy books, they need to pay for this and that. So I want to advise parents to even tell the experience that they have, they should pass it on to their own children, so that the population is not just overblown anyhow. That's number one. Number two, they can take good care of their children. If you don't have too many children, you can take care of the ones you have. Take care of their health, take care of their education, make sure you know what. Our own parents had many children too, but then things were not as expensive as we have now. So they were able to cope with school fees, because we paid in the boarding house, and our parents paid. As a teacher, your parents as a teacher will still be able to afford school fees. These days, a teacher does not even cannot afford some private schools school fees, you know. So but in those days they can. They could do a lot of things with their salary.
When the economy was
very good. But now, and it's all over the world. It's all over the world. So we don't have to sit somewhere and start mourning and start blaming this person, blaming that one. Sometimes when you are in an environment, you should be able to cope with what you are there. You know your rights. So I'm not saying you should not fight for your rights, but if you know that a lot of things will not be taken care of, you yourself, the experience that you have, don't let your children go through such. Try to tell them. My own parents had 7 children, but I have only 2. And you know, yes, you don't have to. I don't have to go and have 7 children like
because my parents.
How they coped, I didn't know. What I ate when I was young, you know, it's difficult to get them now. But at least I know that with 2 kids, all will be able to cope. Now, a lot of other people, I won't even wait for any husband or any, you know, to bring school fees. No. Even when my children were growing up, I didn't wait for anybody. I will make sure that I did a lot of things I made sure I did a lot of things to bring money. I sold eggs, I sold chicken, I had furniture showroom. In this Oshogo, I had furniture showroom, and I was into interior decoration. I had a boutique. I was into barbing, I was into hairdressing, and I was selling fabrics. I was hawking fabrics. I would go to houses where I knew they had male children. I would take male clothes to them. I would go to steel rolling camp. I would go to machine tool camp where I knew people would buy those things from me. I put them in my cars and go there. I would go to Aswani market, buy Ankara. I will bring it to civil servants and politicians. I will sell it to them. At the end of the month, I will collect money from them, because I needed more money than I was earning. So I did a lot of other things. Each time I was, you know, getting eggs to sell from one poultry and something would disturb that thing, I'll go to another poultry. I'll take those ones to Ibadan, go and sell. From there I'll go to Obalende.
You are very industrious.
Yes, and I'll drive myself there. I'll drive myself. Till today, I still do a lot of things. It's difficult for you to cook for me. I have some people that cook for me, but I will still go to the kitchen in the morning and cook. This morning I went there, I bought plantain, I did everything, I did my breakfast myself, and there was somebody to help me. But I will not wait for that person. I will not, because I will want to know sometimes to cook for myself, because I've been doing it and I'm used to it. And I make sure that even my children, they do the same thing. Till today. Of course, they will copy you when you do it. So you just, as a woman, you don't just sit down and relax. That let your husband do everything.
Exactly.
Let your husband do everything. You know, it will affect you in future. But if you cope with your expenses yourself, then by the time your husband is bringing in something, it will be an additional thing for the family.
Well, thank you so much. Well, you are, in fact, I really love you, but we need to digress a bit. You are a politician, right? So what informed your decision to join politics?
Yes, when I was working at the university, I Well, let me start as a student. As a student, I was active as a student union member. And I was a member of we call something, we had an organization where we were teaching ourselves how to rule at that time. To rule, yes.
So you've been a politician from honestly.
So, but I did not really take big positions in the student union offices. But I did in my hall of residence. And I was a member of the Student Representative Council at University of Ife, now Obafemi Awolowo University. So I was part of decision making at the university campus there. So when I started working there as well, I wanted to enlarge my scope. I needed to know what was happening around my community. You know, since I'm from Ife, I was always going for political meetings after office hours. So I wanted to know who will represent my area. So when I discovered that they were not better than me, I decided to run for House of Assembly. And to God be the glory, I won my election to the House of Assembly. So that was how I started.
Well, thank you. Well, since you've joined politics, what has been your experience? Especially from your male counterparts, did you experience any discrimination from them?
Of course, yes. Most especially when they know you are a woman. They want to underestimate you and they want to undermine you. So, when they are taking positions, because I belong to one committee or the other, if you don't show your interest, they will never call you. They will never even think you have anything to offer. Because some of them will imagine you as their wife as well.
God.
And an African man does not allow the wife to be in a superior position.
You're right.
So sometimes you need to remind them that, please, I'm not your wife, I'm your colleague.
Honestly, yes.
Please, let's do this thing as we're supposed to do it. Then, you yourself, you need to brace yourself up. Make sure you know more than them. You need to read more as a woman. In that profession that you are. In that career, you need to develop yourself very well. So that when they ask you to take part in any committee or whatever, you have a lot to offer. It's not that you now sit down and just think that you need a boyfriend somewhere. You are bringing yourself under the men, and that will not allow you to progress. But if you build yourself up and make sure that you are knowledgeable about what you are doing, then no man will underrate you.
Thank you. Women participation in politics in Nigeria, are they fully represented looking at their voting strength?
We are not.
Because we are more than men.
We are not. But I want to let you know, we are the one we are vulnerable.
Yes.
We should come out more because we have the capacity. And we work more than men. When we want to do anything, we are always very, very, women are very good. Women are very good at working hard. Women can work hard. They want to do whatever they are doing, they want to do it well. And by the time women are getting to a particular position, they always think of the integrity as well.
Let me chip in this thing. Women don't, there's this belief that women don't normally support their own, especially when it comes to taking positions of authority.
These days, I will tell you, we have improved.
Good.
But men still push some people. Well, they go, in a corny way. They do it in a corny. When they know that you want to take a position, now government is assisting. Sometimes they will tell you, we want to take 10 people. They will ask you to take at least 2 women.
10 out of 10.
Yes. They ask you to take, because they know the women will not come out. But these days, when you come out and they know that someone else wants to take another position, they can set another woman to take that. So by then the two of you are struggling to have a particular position, a man will just take.
But you said men don't come out to participate actively in politics. What do you think is responsible for this?
Number one, some of their husbands will not allow them. Some people, their parents will not allow them. So, and sometimes the husbands too, they want to allow them, but they already have children. They already have children. The husbands will not want to take care of those children for them.
You stay at home.
Stay at home. So when we are planning, I want to encourage the women to plan well for their female children. Please encourage your female children. Some generations had failed to do this, but in our own generation, let us encourage our female children to come out. Let us encourage other female children that are not even our own. Let's encourage them. When you know you see anything good in them, traces of having the capacity to do one thing or the other, let's encourage them. Even financially, to obtain funds for this and that. You can help them. Once you help a woman, you have helped a community.
Honestly, even a nation.
A nation. Because you continue to expand and expand and expand and bring in more women.
Well, time is no more on our side, but before we go on the program today, finally, I want to advise to our youth out there, especially the women folk.
Yes, number one, I want to advise the young girls or young ladies, I call them, to start from dressing. Dress properly. Anything you do, do it well. Do it properly. Don't do things out of proportion. Like some people, you see them wearing what they should wear. Some people wear to nightclubs. They wear it in the morning, and men will be looking at them. Now, you don't have anything to gain by men looking at you. Now, don't worry about what will come in future. Make sure your today is all right. Once your today is good, you have a lot of things to offer in future. People will come and look for you. Offices and government will look for you. Or you see private organizations will come and look for you. Once you have something to offer, then that will increase your financial capacity to do a lot of things. So you don't need